Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today we are going to present our presentation with the title New Media Technology and Information Management for the subject IMC402 Foundation of Information Management. I will start the presentation with the introduction of the topic. The contents will be New Media Technology, Information Management, and History of New Media Technology. New Media Technology. The phrase new media refers to a variety of technologies that appeared or underwent fast global expansion in the later 20th century and into the new millennium. Most individuals who have access to the internet are already familiar with some of the most popular forms of online media, such as social media sites like Facebook and Twitter, blogs, and video sharing sites like YouTube. Computer animation, computer games, and websites are also another example of new media. Using applications that interact with the internet and other technologies, this sort of media has also substantially advanced cellular communications in the previous 2 decades. Interactivity is one of the most defining qualities of new media, which is continually evolving to link to as many various platforms and individuals as possible. Any application that uses digital processes, computerized systems, or data networks to transport information is considered new media technology. This technology, which dates back to the 20th century, is most commonly linked with data transfers that are intended to be altered in some way. The majority of the forms are interactive and contain compressed data that may be accessed across a wide range of markets. Internet-based concepts such as websites or digital materials such as CD-ROMs and DVDs are the most common examples of new media. Old media such as television, film, or paper-based products are not included in the definition of new media. Certain commonalities exist between all sorts of modern mediums according to new media technology standards. Because the technology can be employed in essentially every market throughout the world, geographic distance is no longer an issue. The internet has increased the quality and speed of communication. Users can also adapt to new methodologies while providing their own input thanks to the interactive level of information exchange. Additionally, formerly separate modes of communication such as video and telephony can be combined. There has been a lot written about individual new media technologies and their usage in business and other areas in the trade and general press, as well as quite a bit in scholarly publications. Web 2.0 refers to a wide range of web-based communication tools such as blogs, wikis, online social networking, virtual worlds, and other kinds of social media. The projected death and decline of old media such as newspapers, periodicals, and radio has been much discussed in the past. After all, compared to the news on the internet, newspaper news is relatively outdated. Many conventional media have died as a result of this and have been replaced by new media such as periodicals, which have been supplanted by television. People in a particular place will often only see a portion of the new media revolution's impact. Many items have been created as a result of the introduction of new media to replace conventional media. New media tools are interactive communication methods that rely on the use of a computer or mobile device with internet connectivity. Using basic tools, new media tools enable the creation, publication, alteration, and distribution of information. Text messaging, blogs, social media, and podcasts are among the most popular ways to distribute content. Next, the second point is information management. Information management is generally an enterprise information system concept where an organization produces, owns, and manages a suite of information. The information can be in the form of physical data such as papers, documents and books, or digital data assets. Information management deals with the level and control of an organization's governance over its information assets. Information management is typically achieved through purpose-built information management systems and by supporting business processes and guidelines. Moreover, it is also focuses on how that information is shared and delivered to various recipients, including individuals and different computing devices, such as an organization's website, computers, servers, applications, and or mobile devices. The term for information management is used ambiguously in the literatures of several fields. In computer science and its applications, it is used as a synonym for information technology management or as synonymous with data management, where the emphasis is on the structures underlying quantitative data and their relationship to database design. It has comparable meanings to technology management in business or management studies, with an emphasis on the relationship of information technology to corporate competitiveness and success. It is associated with the emerging market for information professionals whose perception of information encompasses data, organizational intelligence, competitive intelligence, external information resources of all kinds, and the associated technology, manual or machine, for handling these various sources in certain fields, such as librarianship and information science. Information management in this context is more concerned with the meaning of information for the information user and information retrieval concerns than in the other domains. The third point is history of new media technology. The history new media technology can be traced back in the 17th, where any information or messages that are delivered may take hours plus a long distance for it to reach to others. The information is sent by relay stations using towers with semaphores or other signaling apparatuses. Letters are delivered by postmen, and it was taking a large amount of time for them to walk, ride a horse, drove by a car, and through airplane or by train. In the 18th, Samuel Morse bringing the use of a telegraph for sending messages when the world starting to have a better understanding of the properties of electricity through wires. It was the coding system named Morse Code. Morse Code is a system of dots and dashes used to represent alphabets and numbers. It was a practical solution to the limitations of early wires. Telegraph encoding was first done by telegraph operators, then later encoding became automated using a teletype machine, which sped up the encoding process. Telegraphs eventually developed to send photographs by having a light-sensitive sensor scan for light and dark parts of picture. Speaking to someone and writing down the message looks easier rather than encoding through Morse code. Inventors really set up their work for the problem of sending voices through wires, and Alexander Graham Bell invented the contraption telephone. The benefit of the telephone is that it gave people the ability for an individual to speak with others directly with their own voices without encoding Morse codes. It quickly became popular that everyone at home started installing telephones, and it was difficult for telephone companies to keep up the pace from the demands. This scenario is the same, just like when iPhone was introduced throughout the world, and later on many telephone companies started to create their own smartphones to compete with Apple company. Telephone use became widely embraced in the early 20th century as soon the telephone connection was set up and ready to use. Photography then was developing at the time as the telegraph, while people were fascinated by realistic images produced. photographic images are considered the 19th century new media form because of images presented in a quick order with slight variations between them giving illusion of movements. To make the illusion of movement look realistic, accurate images like photographs are needed. The effect to the audiences becoming the magic of movies and much what digital technologies have been seeking to perfect over the past half century is to recreate the achievement on the 20th century. Today, the frames are painted pixel by pixel by computers and the images built on computer screens are assembled much as the same way telegraph assembled photographic images line by line. Years passed. The radio was invented that brought forth a number of developments that brings importance for the internet and new media today's time, which are the importance of hobbyists, radio amateurs, identification of new business models that includes advertising and sponsorship, and lastly, the regulation of content. Unlike telephone and telegraph, radio was useful to listeners as soon it turned on. The technology elements of a radio transmitter receiver are well understood, less expensive, and the parts that needed to build one were available in a kit form. Primarily, before the First World War, radio was a hobby activity particularly popular around young men and boys. In the 1920s, radio was not used as a broadcasting project. Radio could connect with a seemingly limitless group of people and without restrictions on the time they spent on the air. They used the time to socialize, comparing notes on equipment, and learn more about their own hobbies. There were others who voiced extreme opinions and annoyed others, much like chat rooms and discussion forums that have trolls and flammers just like today. The idea to combine telegraph's capability to send a single frame image over long distances and the film that creates illusion of movements from displaying series of images at high speed comes to a new era of television. In the late of 1940s, television was burst onto airwaves and was in widespread use by 1950s. In the 1950s and 60s, television was all-powerful, dominating the media landscape in many ways. Television brought together the key features of all preceding new media up to that point of the telegraphs and telephones, the movement of film, and the sound and private consumption aspects of a radio. However, audiences started shrinking later in the 21st century and the power of the TV schedule that once was the stronghold of big networks has been slipping away. Television networks now have to face the challenge of audiences spend the time with personal video recorders or the option of downloading shows from the internet. People today can watch their favorite shows and programs when and where they want, and also able to skip or stripping annoying advertisements from the shows. Television allowed for personal and private interaction with the medium, and multimedia began to establish itself. The early television worked successfully among the people to sit down and watch the screen for a long time, and this is carried fast forward today as people spend many hours a day in front of their computers and mobile phones at work and at home. The new media technology that enters our society is not entirely displace old media forms, but it rearranges the relationships between the old media technology.
Hai, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Mohammad Suhaili bin Sukar. I am from group IM1E and my student ID is 2021603208. Today I will present about the advantages of new media technology. In the previous few years, new media technology has progressed. As new media technology such as a website, blog, social media network, music and television. Technology is progressing in positive direction that more individuals and grouping than becoming aware of its advantages. It has brought a few of benefit to the industry social. Advantages of new media technology is giving an impact to the business. With the media technology, especially to those who are just starting out in company. They can help them to introduce their identity as one unit of the company, a new company. They can utilize platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, and other social media to market their product and services. New media technology also, such as advertising, using less cost for promote their product in the internet. The second thing is, with the media technology, that using internet can reduce the need for costly travel. In the business, we need to go physically to the shop to make an order. With the media technology, such as the internet, we can order it in online. The second advantages of new media technology is it can reach a large audience. First thing, internet presence and email communication can massively increase a small firm consumer base. New media technology can help you to reach a large audience worldwide. This is because new media technology is utilized and used internationally. Advertising online can help your company owner to reach a large audience and customer. The second thing is it can potential to both harm and benefit the company's reputation, such as sales and reputation of a company. New media technology can give you a choice and allow for instant connection as well as relationship of a variety of level. People or customers are allowed to post whatever they want on social media. With this, company can make a R&D and improve their product or services according to a comment and feedback from the customer. With this way, we can also increase our profit of a company because we can improvise our product and services. The third advantages of new media technology is it affected to how people gain the information. First, newspaper and radio were the major source of news and the most effective means of disseminating information 20 years ago. This is because print newspapers are almost extinct these days. Everyone obtains the news and information through website and social media. It is online. COVID-19 is an excellent example to consider that people nowadays is only using internet to gain the information. The second thing is new media is that it allows for the widespread dissemination of information and news. The material covers a wide range of topics from local weather and forthcoming events to the exposure to injustice. With that way, people will be able to deliver information and gain the information to the public in a timely and efficiently manner as the information medium expand. Next, the advantages of new media technology is in educational. As event unfold in 2020, known as COVID-19, we are entering a new era in which we do practically everything online, including schooling. Today, we are putting the internet and new media to their full potential. Google Meet, WebEx, Zoom, and Google Teams are some of the online platforms that are now being utilized for teaching. Online platforms are used for teaching and learning at all stages of education, from kindergarten to higher education. Maybe except it is also can be accessed from anywhere and anytime if you have access to the internet. They can make a discussion like in a classroom and in the normal situation with this way. And the last advantages of new media technology is in communication. People nowadays prefer to communicate through social media rather than face-to-face, which has a result in an upsurge in online relationship. Whenever you go now, you can see how individuals are physically seated together but chatting with others via their smartphone, implying that they are not physically together. You can also may communicate with folks all around the world at any time with a friendship from the past, as well as living families that are far from you like at the college, or those are far away. People have found it simple to them to interact with one another, share their memories, and exchange photo and video via social media. Long distance now is between individuals have become shorter because of this method, and new media technology has given a big impact to the communication now.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Mohammed. I will continue my group presentation with the point 3.0, issue and disadvantage of new media technology. The first point of my presentation is 3.1, issue of new media technology. The change in the delivery of both music and television extend the new technology such as media social and e-book will give some impact to the world. This is because the new media technology also have the disadvantage, and there are many issues on the new media technology. The first issue of the new media technology is the use of old media no longer relevant as time passes. As we know, the world are more interested in new media because there are many advantages that they can get as a result of the use of technology in new media such as media social, e-book and Wikipedia. People nowadays use technology as a device medium for a variety of purposes. One of the most crucial of which is to obtain reliable information in any information source. This situation caused the old media to become a routine that is no longer considered as the primary source of information for users. The second issue of the new media technology is there a method to verify that the data is accurate and that there isn't an evidence of data. The information you are looking or using the new media technology and old media technology is so different. We can see from the search technique. For example, the old media uses technique in areas of tools such as archive, and new media is also using a lot of technology such as search engine. When we use the new media technology, there are so lot of information that we can get in a second. From a different in the topic, there are additional sources provided by many users, whether or not they are accredited compared to use the old media technology. The second point of my presentation is 3.2, the disadvantage of new media technology. The main purpose of technology is to make our work easy and help us to do our work easily. But technology has also a lot of bad effect on human life. We use technology, but we didn't know about the disadvantage of technology. There are 5 points the disadvantage of new media technology that I have shown. First, lack infrastructure and facility. Second, price of the device. Third, inappropriate information. Number 4, privacy concern, and the number 5, cyberbullying. The first point of the disadvantage of the new media technology is lack infrastructure and facility. Malaysia still in process to upgrade their infrastructure and facility to make sure all the people in the country can use the technology. For example, Malaysia still in process to use 5G system, but in the developed country they already use it. We can see the facility infrastructure in rural and urban area are so different. The facility in the rural area need to improve from time to time to make sure all the people can use the technology. The second disadvantage of the new media technology is because the price of the device. As we know, we need a device to use the new media technology, such as smartphone or computer. The price of the device is so expensive to some people. In the market, there are many brands of devices such as Apple, Samsung, or Oppo, but the prices are so high. Some people did not have effort to buy their own device, especially during pandemic COVID-19. There are many people are jobless. This situation will make a gap between people that have device and not have the device. The next point of the disadvantage of new media technology is inappropriate information. The information has been spread so fast with the new media technology. The dumping of information in the internet will cause there also have a fake news or false information from the irresponsible person. For example, we can see during pandemic COVID-19, there are many fake news about vaccine or the number of cases in our country. This situation will give a negative impact to the society. Next, the disadvantage of the new media technology is privacy concern. Privacy also become an issue on new media technology. Every people have their own social media and keep share their photo and video about their personal life. Photo and video also emerge as unexpected threat to personal privacy. Other than that, people also are to depend on their smartphone because they serve all the private information in the smartphone. They will risk to lose their privacy information when they lose their smartphone, or there are many hackers can get the information. So every individual need to be more carefully when using the new media technology. The last point of the disadvantage of new media technology is cyberbullying. There are a lot of information and content around the world that people can access and find it in the internet. For example, content that not suitable for people underage like pornography and online scam. This situation will give a negative impact to the new generation in the country. This situation needs to be controlled as soon as possible because it will give a very negative impact to our country.
Next, we are going to discuss about development of media technology. Media fulfills several basic roles in our society. One obvious role is entertainment. Media can act as a springboard for our imagination, a source of fantasy, and an outlet for escapism. In the 19th century, Victorian readers disillusioned by the greenness of the Industrial Revolution found themselves drawn into fantastic worlds of fairies and other fictitious beings. In the first decade of the 21st century, American television viewers could pick in on the conflicted Texas high school football team in Friday Night Lights, the violence-plagued drug trade in Baltimore in The Wire, a 1960s Manhattan ad agency in Mad Men, or the last surviving band of humans in a distant, miserable future in Battlestar Galactica. Through bringing us stories of all kinds, media has the power to take us away from ourselves while also provide information and education. Information can come in many forms, and it may sometimes be difficult to separate from entertainment. The Massachusetts Institute of Technology (MIT) has posted free lecture notes, exams, and audio-video recordings of classes on its OpenCourseWare website, allowing anyone with an internet connection access to world-class professors. Another useful aspect of media is its ability to act as a public forum for the discussion of important issues. In newspaper or other periodicals, letters to the editor allow readers to respond to journalists or to voice their opinions on the issues of the day. These letters were an important part of US newspapers even when the nation was a British colony, and they have served as a means of public interest discourse ever since. The internet is a fundamentally democratic medium that allows everyone who can get online the ability to express their opinions through. For example, people are giving out their own opinion on certain terms through blogging or podcasting. Through whether anyone will hear is another question. Similarly, media can be used to monitor government, business, and other institutions. Upton Sinclair's 1906 novel The Jungle exposed the miserable conditions in the turn-of-the-century meat-picking industry. And in the early 1970s, Washington Post reporters Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein uncovered evidence of the Watergate break-in and subsequent cover-up, which eventually led to the resignation of President Richard Nixon. But purveyors of mass media may be beholden to particular agendas because of political slant, advertising funds, or ideological bias, thus constraining their ability to act as a watchdog. The following are some of these agendas which are entertaining and providing an outlet for the imagination, educating and informing, serving as a public forum for the discussion of important issues, acting as a watchdog for government, business and other institutions. Development in media technology has evolved dramatically since the beginning and dictates the society we live in. From print media to film and radio and television broadcasting to electronic media, it has brought many societies closer than ever before. It is evident that media technology has the ability to influence both society and culture. In the 19th century, print media such as books, the press and magazines were the beginning to modern media. Print media and commercialization of the newspaper press can be mass-produced and advertised, and this was accessible to everyone. It became more light-hearted and entertaining, emphasized human interest, and became more sensational in reporting world and current events, while magazines gave readers information they could not find anywhere else and are published to disseminate information for the public character or devoted to literature, science, arts, or some specific industry. Nowadays, old media such as newspaper and magazines have been modernized and being published on the internet as a form of online news and online magazine. This is to ensure all media are still relevant in this era and age. This is often referred to as new media. New media are forms of media that are computational and rely on computers for redistribution. Some examples of new media are computer animations, computer games, human-computer interfaces, interactive computer installations, websites, and virtual worlds. New media are often contrasted to old media such as television, radio, and print media, although scholars in communication and media studies have criticized inflexible distinctions based on oldness and novelty. New media does not include analog broadcast television programs, feature films and magazines or books, unless they contain technologies that enable digital generative or interactive processes. Due to the popularity of new media, social media websites SMWs like Facebook and Twitter are becoming increasingly popular among researchers. Moreno de Kimia in 2013. Although SMWs present new opportunities, they also represent challenges for researchers interested in studying social phenomena online, since it can be difficult to determine what are acceptable risks to privacy unique to social media. Some scholars, for example Moreno, Frost and Christakis in 2008, argue that Standard Institutional Review Board (IRB) procedures provide little guidance on research protocols relating to social media in particular. As a consequence, Moreno et al. 2013 identified three major approaches to research on social media and relevant concerns scholars should consider before engaging in social media research, which are observational research, interactive research, and survey and interview research. However, technology advancement also influenced other media technology to evolve and revolutionize to be in parallel with the development flow. For instance, authors are publishing their own printed books as an e-book on websites as a subscription method for readers to read. People are using smartphones, laptops and tablets and accessible to the internet. As media technology are getting more modernized, media technology companies are taking this opportunity to give their own product a new look. Today, newspapers and news-oriented television and radio programs make available stories from across the globe, allowing readers or viewers in London to access voices and videos from Baghdad, Tokyo or Buenos Aires. Books and magazines provide a more in-depth look at a wide range of subjects. The free online encyclopedia, Wikipedia, has articles on topics from presidential nicknames to child prodigies to tongue twisters in various languages. Throughout many years, media technology are evolving and getting fresh and new look. The advancement of technology had evolved media technology to be more modernized. Media technology are being shifted from compiled printed books or articles into something can be read in a form of e-book or e-article online. This will help to attract people to read more as more people are using modern devices such as smartphones and computer while also having access on the internet. However, in some cases, older generations still prefer traditional media as it is more easier to use and cheaper compared to new media technology, which it required new knowledge to use it. Hence, it is complicated to use by some people, especially older generation.
Assalamualaikum. Now I will present about the solution of the new media technology. The first solution is create a password that has symbols, numbers, alphabets in one password, and also make sure it is long in 8 to 12 in numbers so that irresponsible parties cannot access it easily. There are many cases of people who use new media technology, especially the user of social media, and where most of the public's personal information have been accessed by the irresponsible parties such as scammers, identity thief, hacker, and so on. Viruses are also one of the tactics from scammers to gain our money and also to disguise themselves as experts on software and ask for high sum of money. If using any type of new media technology such as blog, Facebook, Instagram, email, and others, be sure to use and create a password that has symbols, number, alphabets in one password, and also make sure it is long in 8 to 12 in number so that the hackers and others cannot access it easily. And also we can use antivirus to protect the software from any harming viruses that may damage the software. The second solution is do not accept any information easily before knowing where it came from, and do not share any information that you don't know the status is legal or not. In this new media technology area, fake news and mark-breaking news are very easily to be spread and through the social media, also through the internet, so that we need to learn how to compare and know which one the real news and which the fake news. Such as we can identify the wrong information by checking the source. We can check it from where the source came from, such as a website or a shared information. In other way, we can check the website such as the spelling of the company's name on the web link. We also can check the original of the website from their about us and find out if it's original or not. This can help us, also can prevent us from spreading the fake news from the parties that share the fake information, so that we should not accept any information easily before knowing where it came from, and do not share any information that you don't know the status, it is legal or not.
Finally, I will conclude on the topic of the presentation. In the recent years, the hybridization of various types of media has given rise to significant privacy problems. The ability to merge several kinds of new media into a single source, such as linking to social networking, email, phone, and web banking using a portable device, makes one more vulnerable to cybercrime by hackers and malware. New media are always changing. They are, by their very nature, fluid in ways that traditional media tied to a technological form are not. New media is difficult to define if we confine our view to the physical tools that produce it. Instead, it is more useful to see new media in terms of the outcomes of the exploitation of certain fundamental characteristics, namely that new media is manipulable, networkable, dense, compressible, and impartial. These characteristics are then expressed in a variety of artifacts, activities, and arrangements in such a way as to create an interactive experience. The nature of those interactive experiences is forever changing to be new, and different forms emerge frequently. Its forms are quite often echoes or recreations of previous media forms, but with an interactive element. In trying to understand a new form, it can be very helpful to see if there are recognizable aspects or elements that may reflect a common human communication pattern or practice, something that recreates a business model or value proposition in a new and interesting way. Although it may be easy to be distracted by the claims of new and different, existing knowledge is often a good guide to how these media can be used and how they affect our society, our culture, our economy, and our government. In the coming years, the environmental cost of new media will undoubtedly become a major personal, policy, and corporate concern. Indeed, there have been concerns raised about new media, but they have rarely taken the form of serious and deep analysis. New media is more likely to be blamed for some societal ill game addiction or violence caused by computer games for which there is little credible evidence. Alternatively, the mainstream media frequently publishes new media stories that focus on how new media is a novelty and the ostensibly quirky nature of things online. Typical human follies are frequently depicted in these stories, which can be found, for example, on Facebook or Twitter. While this may attract some attention, the focus on new media as a novelty ultimately diverts attention away from broader underlying challenges or problems. Another example, virtual reality (VR) experiments have been a cornerstone of military and university computer research since at least the 1980s, while artificial intelligence (AI) has been studied almost since the first digital computers were constructed in the 1940s and 1950s. Both technologies have had past peak moments that appeared to promise impending mainstream success, only to slowly fade into the labs where they were conceived. Both AI and VR's recent renaissance offer both the potential and the threat of commercial ascendancy and societal transformation that we have seen in past generations of new media technologies. In terms of the economy, new media is associated with the shift toward a global knowledge economy or an economy that is increasingly fueled by knowledge-based and creative industries, as well as user-led innovation rather than industrial production, science-based research and development, and mass consumption. Through blogs, social media sites, and DIY media production and distribution venues like YouTube, new media has enabled participatory culture to flourish. In terms of politics, new media poses a challenge to established sites of institutional authority such as governments, political parties, and even traditional news media. More fluid and collaborative networks serve as increasingly dynamic sites of innovation and new ideas, as well as forms of power, resistance, and activism. These developments, as well as the nature of new media's impact on our society, serve as a timely warning to stay away from new media hype and to conduct critical analysis and empirically sound examinations of new media trends. These have never been clearer than now when virtual reality and artificial intelligence are causing such a stir. In contrast to the quick expansion of mobile and social media, both of these technologies have taken a long time to develop.